Okay, this is Orlando Wilson. What I want to talk about in this video quickly, as always, is something to do more with current affairs and the situation in the world at the moment. I think everybody knows the situation in the world at the moment is pretty fucking shit. Mainly due to bad politicians, well, psychopathic politicians that have forgotten what diplomacy is all about. I have people asking me all the time what I think about the situation with Israel and the Lebanon and what's going to happen. A lot of the risk management guys are saying there's going to be a fallout war, a full-scale war, etc. I've heard a lot of weird and wonderful things of the US is going to put boots on the ground in Israel and all this other stuff. You know what? It all sounds good. It all sounds gung-ho from a NATO propaganda perspective. But from the reality, what a lot of people are forgetting is Hezbollah, even though they're recognized, or they are a recognized terrorist organization in many places, is a very, very efficient military. They have many years of experience of fighting in Syria, Iraq, other places. Their business side of things, as far as trafficking, be it gold trafficking, drug trafficking, etc., reaches as far as Venezuela and Latin America. So you're not dealing with, as a lot of guys like to put it on social media, a bunch of ragheads. You're dealing with professionals. I think Hezbollah has proven in the last couple of weeks, they've had drones going into sensitive sites in Israel. They're taking out Iron Dome installations, etc. You know what, Hezbollah, we'll put it this way, the Houthis, again, are very professional. Well, they're professional. And again, what a lot of people forget, I'm saying again too much, but there's a lot of agains here. Because the people have forgotten a lot of the agains. You know what? The Middle East now has been at war since, what, 2001? If not, well, there's been plenty of wars in the Middle East, but it's been constant due to after the first invasion of Iraq, etc. Well, the second Iraq war, first between Iraq and Iran, then the US Bush's invasion of Iraq. You know what? The Middle East has been at war now for over 20 years, 23 years. These groups, these resistance groups, have been constantly fighting, constantly developing their skills and constantly learning. They've been training for war. Hezbollah, if you see some of the propaganda they're putting out, they've been constantly training for war. As far as putting NATO boots on the ground in the Middle East, you know what? You're dealing with, be it Hezbollah, a very motivated fighting force that's been training for war for a long, long time, against NATO that's more interested in pronouns and gender issues and promoting love, happiness and group hugs. So I think NATO is going to be in for a big wake up if they actually put boots on the ground in the Middle East. It'd be a disaster. Beyond the propaganda, it might sound cool on social media, guys beating the war drums, but in reality it would be a disaster, it would be a slaughter. Now back to the issues with Hezbollah and Israel. You know what, Hezbollah's got a lot of artillery, got a lot of missiles. I think the Yemenis have virtually closed down Eilat in Israel. The Yemenis are controlling the Red Sea. The NATO operation there, the Western operation against the Houthis, have done nothing. The Houthis are still in business, they're still hitting ships. So I don't see anything positive coming out of any war with or Israel going into Lebanon and a war with Hezbollah. You already have the Syrians saying they will send troops. You already have the Iraqi resistance saying they will send troops. The Iranians will send troops. The Afghanis have come up and saying they will send troops. You know what? It's going to be a huge mess. And I don't see how, after it escalates, how it will be de-escalation. The economy of Israel will be finished. There'll be, I mean, from what I understand, they relied a lot on tourism. That's finished. The ports will be closed, the airports will be closed, etc. So how they're going to get supplies in, I don't know. Hez has already said they're going to be hitting any ships supporting Israel. They've even threatened Cyprus. They have missiles that can reach out to Cyprus easily. So again, it's like, this could be a major escalation where at this point there needs to be de-escalation. As I said, I think the political elites at the moment, the people in power, are nothing but psychotic warmongers that's forgotten what diplomacy is all about. And again, I think the French have said they're willing to arm various groups in the Lebanon, etc., to fight Hezbollah. And you know what? They're starting a civil war again. And again, the only people wars are good for are the arms manufacturers. So people are willing to destroy Israel. People are willing to destroy Lebanon for what? Money. And that's what it comes down to. I've said to people when this first started with Hamas that Gaza was sacrificed. Gaza is Israel's meat grinder. And in the past, 8 or 9 months, Gaza's been going on. All the resistance forces have been watching the Israeli tactics, watching the Israeli strategies and learning from them and countering them. Because again, these resistance groups, be it Hezbollah or the Iraqis, etc., they're very, very flexible in operations. They can learn and they can develop a lot quicker than, say, Western militaries who, as I said, they'd have to do a threat assessment on the gender issues before they can modify their tactics. Going into Lebanon would be a trap, and I think it's a trap that's been laid and it's been baited for Israel to go in, because it will be a huge, huge mess. I mean, I'll throw one point in from, and again, the Christian perspective, and this is what a lot of people don't understand, don't realize. And I'm saying this, I'm not supporting anybody, I'm just stating facts. When the when the war was happening in Syria, the groups that were supporting the Christians were the government, Al-Assad's forces, and also Hezbollah. In Iraq, the groups that were supporting the Christian militias that ended up, as far as I know, integrating the Christian militias in with them was Hashishabi, again, Shia militia. So this is where there's a big contradiction between the Western media and the facts actually on the ground. From a Christian perspective, the people that's been looking after the Christians in the Middle East are the people that the Western media is painting as being the terrorists, the people that's persecuting. So I think a lot of people need to look at the facts of what's actually happening on the ground and look at the facts of who the good guys are, the bad guys are, etc. and take things from there. The facts are out there, you just need to check them. But at the moment, I don't know, it's going to be a big, big mess, and I can't see there being any winners. And I say the biggest loser in this is going to be Israel and the West, because it's going to lose more face. Its reputation is already is a mess at the moment. Ukraine is going the wrong way. They don't need another loss after the disastrous retreat from Afghanistan. Well, Iraq as well, in some ways. They don't need another disastrous loss, or a US naval ship being lost, a British naval ship being lost to be it Hezbollah, be it the Houthis, etc. So it's concerning times. From a contracting point of view, a military contracting point of view, there's no business there. There's only business for the arms companies. It's going to be a slaughter. So all these guys contacting me and saying, is there contracting work in these areas? You know what? Stay at home, play your computer games, eat your junk food, and watch TV. That's my advice to you guys. In the meantime, follow me along on social media. I got a lot of more of these videos out there. I'm going to put one out just after this, reference ISIS. So follow me along on social media. You got any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And as I say, check the facts. If you don't like what I'm saying, I don't particularly care. What I'm stating is fact. And I hope it opens a few eyes. In the meantime, be good, stay safe, and stay out of trouble.